For someone who's tuning in, they just graduated high school, or maybe they're in their 20s or 30s and they want to make more money or they want to get their finances in order. If you had to tell them like a few key things, maybe like 2 or 3 key things, what would you advise someone to do? What are some steps they can take to start to like get their financial life in order?
Okay, first thing, this is probably the toughest one. Your friendships and competitors, the people in your life that may have more than you. I understand that there are a lot of times that people have less than you and you're kind to them and maybe you step up and do something for them. But if you're hanging around with people that have more than you and you're trying to keep up with them and you're competing with them, that is the first mistake. You have to only spend and can only spend as a young person at the level that you have. If you're trying to step up and be in someone else's world and spend the money they have or the money their parents give them money and your parents can't, all of those things. The first thing is be mature enough to avoid that kind of competition or avoid that kind of pressure. It's the first thing you have to do. I know just hundreds of kids that have gone off to college and got swept up in that, but everybody else is spending money and going out and taking weekend trips and doing this. I want to do it too. And they max out credit cards and they don't pay, or they keep borrowing money, or they get in over their head. So the first thing you have to do is grow up and say, you know what? I can't be in that world. You know, if I have friends that can travel the world or go to clubs and take weekend trips to Cabo San Lucas, and I can't hold that against them, but nor can I be in that world. So you do have to assess. Doesn't mean you can't have them as friends, but you have to be honest with yourself and with them that there are parts of their world that you can't participate in. And you need to learn that early, Joe. You need to learn that when you're 16, 17, and in your early 20s. What world can you be in at the place you're in financially? And live in that world and be confident and honest about it. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two is choose wisely when you use your Social Security number and you go get credit, because no young person that I've ever met ever knew that everything they were doing was affecting what is called a credit report. That you get a job in high school and you have a Social Security number, and then you get parents let you get a car and you make the car payment. That's all going into a nice little thing called a credit report, and it's tracking you and your financial history and what you've been doing. And I know at least dozens of kids that got out of college with a credit report that was really screwed over by their lack of financial understanding and money issues when they were in high school and college. And no one warned them that they're going to screw themselves over. And they're going to get out of college and get that first job. And their parents are going to say to them, oh, well, go get your own car now and go get your own place. And there's this credit report that's been following them around basically since birth, and they got a Social Security number that's going to say, no, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. You're not credit worthy. And you go, wait a minute, I'm 25. I'm a kid. What are you talking about? And they're going to say, go over there and look at how many things you screwed up.
Yeah.
Does anybody tell young people that? Nope. Nobody tells them.
Yeah, it's definitely
So
not
number two.
those responses, but that's good. That's good advice too. And I remember, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, but number three would be, don't act like your cash is not connected to the rest of your money. And that when you go to an ATM as a young person to get out $60, that doesn't affect the rest of your money. And people, they go to the ATM and they look at their bank balance and they say, oh, I've got money, and they take it out. When indeed there might be something, a medical insurance policy or a premium or an auto payment or insurance is coming out of your account, and you're not accounting for that because you're relying on the bank to give you what money you have. And no, you are to know every penny of your money. The bank only knows what goes through the account. They don't know what you're doing privately, or they don't know that you've got an auto debit for your car payment on Monday coming out when you take $100 out on Saturday. It's up to you to know your balance, your personal book balance, and not rely on the bank to tell you what you've got. You can check the bank to make sure there's no fraud and you're not getting extra bank charges, but don't rely on the bank for your personal finance and your personal checking balance. You need to know it. So those are my top three.